I'll just tell you what. I said to myself quietly, I said, you know, it's really early and I don't want to be, it was like April when we did top 10 lists last year. And I said, maybe I'll give everybody a sneak peek of who I think has really clawed their way to the top of the heap and who I thought was the most impressive. And I got to 28 and decided this was not going to be a very fruitful exercise, which is great. The top 10 lists this year are going to be really hard. I literally got to 28 and there were still a couple more looking at me. I'm like, come on. I'm not going to give a top 30. So I'm going to talk about all the yearlings, 2-year-olds, how they're training and why I like them so much. There's some horses here. Obviously, we have 2 we're selling, a couple that we need to do more. But if this had been 5 weeks ago, those couple or few that needed to do more wouldn't be a problem. Just means they're a little bit behind everybody else. Who cares? There's lots of time in that regard. All these horses have trained miles. All of them. So I'm going to run through them. I'm not going to do a top 10, 20, 30. It's ridiculous. I'll do one later on in the spring when we have a better idea, and hopefully won't have to pull my hair out in doing them. You know who the top horses are in the barn that come to mind quickly. Knockdown, Dragout, Johan, Really Blue Chip, Miss Mischief Maker, Enjoying My Life, Effusive. And then you have other horses that are crept up. Globetrotting. Beat the crap out of people that looked fantastic today. Watch Av. Looked tremendous. Miss Brampton Beast looked like an absolute beast. I knew this would happen. Made a tiny little shoeing adjustment. Pulled her hobbles in a little bit. Put a head pull on her. Bam. Completely was unbelievable today. Fussbot's been near the top of the list. Cabernet's been quietly one of our better horses for a long time. Ale Sun looked tremendous today. Path of Totality looked tremendous today. Marzank Hanover looked awesome today. I mean, I'm going to run through them, but these are horses that were awesome today. Ale Sun, we'll start with Ale Sun. Mario went with her. He 2, 3 moved her. He said, who is this? I said, this is a Uncle Peter filly that we bought, had OCDs, took them out. She's getting stronger every week. He said, she was unbelievable. And I said, well, I liked her. I trained her last Wednesday. I thought she was good. Everybody that goes with her likes her. But he said she was very, very good. Quietly becoming one of our better horses going into the Ohio Stakes very early, but climbing near one of the top of the heap. Her and Globetrotting were tremendous today. Anteros made a little shoeing adjustment the other day. Of course, it snowed, and there was 3 inches of snow on the track. The shoes we had on him were egg bars. He's never going to get through that track with those shoes on. I might actually make another little shoe. He trained fine. I'll make another little shoeing adjustment with Anteros and get him under control. But he was fine. I went a mile and 2:41 with him. That's perfectly fine. Arctic Force trained good. Flip-flops on this track. I'm surprised he didn't make a break. Gislin went with him and said he trained great. No line, so not on a line. Straight in the bit. Looked very good. Beach Boutique looked good today. Trained very well again. So what we did, I said to you, I didn't want to go fast, but I wanted to put their first 1.5 miles of training into them today, just to see who could handle it and who couldn't, who was going to be tired and who wasn't. 1.5 miles in a snowy track is like running flat out until you almost fall over on the beach. It's hard. It's hard working. And it's not that we went fast, but it was a lot of work today, and we got to look inside the souls of a lot of horses today. I was happy for the most part with what I saw. Arctic Force went good. Beach Boutique looked good. Beach Bum BB. Keep your eye on Beach Bum BB. This filly's starting to look better every time. Danny loves her. I love her. Love everything about her. She's very timid, but she can really rock, and she was awesome today. Bend Over. Who did I go with? I won the training set. Bend Over sat behind me the entire way. It was at my wheel finishing. I looked back, and everybody else was like 7 lengths behind us, working hard. Bend Over's coming. Looking very, very good today. Very happy with him. Bottle of Red trained good today. Now, Stevie said, oh, she pulled a lot. But Stevie's got some heavy hands. Stevie hand. That was my best French accent, by the way. Not my best, but it was okay. Bottle of Red trained very, very good. She can get a little aggressive, but when James and I went with her the other day, go back and take a look at that video. That video prompted me to put this filly in the Breeders' Crown. That's not to say, oh, I have a fantastic Breeders' Crown filly. I have a filly that's really nice. She's by Heston Blue Chip. She's well-bred, and I think she deserves an opportunity to at least be staked in that manner. She'll prove me right or prove me wrong this summer, but Looks like a nice filly. Every reason to believe she is. Very happy with Bottle of Red. Brush Cut trained good again today. Always trains good. I just expect this colt to train good. And he did. Looked good doing it. Cabernet trained great also. Kid that went with him, Donnie, went with her and said, she's on the right line a little bit. Put a little Murphy blind on the inside of her. She may have just been slipping and touched herself. But I have no reason to believe that Cabernet will need boots of any kind. She looks great. Canadian Titan trained good, struggled a little bit in that deep stuff, but she got a bit of a slow start to her training, didn't she? We got her, we had high hopes, and then she looked terrible the first 2 weeks. She's looked great ever since. Found it a little difficult today, but that's okay. That's what it's all about. Didn't shy away from her work, but she came in tired, which is completely fine. Capistrano looked fantastic. Donnie got to go with her. He said, what do I need to know? I said, what you need to know is this filly should not look this good after a month being in the barn. This is a very nice horse. She does nothing wrong and should do lots wrong and does nothing wrong. He came in and he said, wow, what a nice horse. Capistrano is just a very, very good filly. You're going to see what I'm talking about soon enough. Cheatin' Dixie, the track was not fit today. She went a very, very slow mile by herself. I didn't want to put her in a set and push her because the one thing about the snow is it's uneven in some places. Her with her knees just getting back to really good. I don't want to train her hard through that stuff, so we just went a very slow mile with her the right way of the track. Classic Con surprised the hell out of me today. I thought he trained good the other day. I don't know if the video actually got posted where I trained with James. He trained very good, but I didn't know how he'd get through today's surface with the snow, but that training trip sparked something in him the other day. He was awesome today. He was coming to globetrotting at the wire, and she was very strong today, and she put away everybody that she trained with today. Classic Con was coming to me at the wire. Classy Will trained good. This is another guy. Nobody really pays much attention to Classy Will. You will eventually, I'm sure. Doesn't do anything wrong. Seems to do a whole lot right. And I've been very happy with him. And I think you will be also at some point down the road. Clumpus Rose DC did not train. Now, this was attitude more than anything. She doesn't pull up. She's not ignorant. But she was slipping today and was not happy about it. Disco come up alongside me. Disco, Mark Isabel, we call him Disco. I don't know why. Disco come up alongside me, and he could see her pin her ears, and she was struggling. I said, hey, just put her back in behind me. Stay in there. She wasn't a big fan of doing her work today, but not really shocking. She got flip-flops on, probably chewing at herself a little bit. She's going to shake that ring rust off soon enough, and today was not her day. Crazy Mission, Mario had the hobbles on really long. I guess he was going to try and really prove me wrong because I always wore them on him kind of tight. But when he trained great, they were just on medium, not tight, but not too far away from tight. And today they were on loose, and he made a couple little breaks in the turns in the snow. I said, hey, the hobbles are a little loose on that guy. He said, yeah, maybe. So, but when he was trotting, he looked great. He's starting to look like a little racehorse, this horse. Very impressed with both him and Bendover, what they've done the last month. Exactly what I said they do. They're maturing every time they go on the track. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch was good. Made a little break in the snow. His hobbles are as tight as they'll go at 53 inches. They need to be tighter. He's a small horse, and I'm going to buy some extra small centers for his hobbles tonight. We have a set down in the other barn for, I don't know who the horse is that wears them, but I got to get another set for Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. Effusive looks good every week. Now, Mark Isabel cleared to the front with Effusive, and everybody's a little competitive. You know, they have their favorite horse, and Effusive is the one we let Mark Isabel go with just because the horse is pretty much bomb-proof. He cleared to the front just past the mile and an eighth marker, and I was coming to him with Johan, and I could see him see me coming, and he was ready for a match. He wanted to go at it a little bit, and he went to sit up on him, and I literally just roared at Johan, and I was gone. And it was only because Mark Isabel had moved Effusive a couple of times, and he was starting to get maybe a little weary, and I just jumped on him. And cleared to the front, put the brakes on. He finished up right behind me and looked good. But he certainly wasn't ready for what I was packing today. Especially not with the trip. Effusive had worked incredibly hard leading up to that point in the training session. And I knew that. And I jumped on him pretty good. So he was very, very good, though. Very talented horse. One of these days I'll go with him again, and I'll let you see. We got a real good look at Really Blue Chip today. You didn't. But James went with her for the first time, and I said, hey, this filly is quietly one of our best horses. stretch her out today. I want to know how tired she gets. He finished up with a bow in his neck, 3 lengths on the front end, driving away from them. The rest of them had some tongues hanging out. They were tired. Really, Blue Chip is a powerhouse. And James got a real good look at her today. He came up and he goes, who's this one by? I said, this is a credit winner. New York. He said, geez, she's a nice filly. I said, yeah. Very nice filly. So, very happy with Effusive. Emerald Miss made a little break today, but Mark Isabel went with her. Mark's a great guy, but he's one of these guys that if they're going to do something wrong, they're going to do something wrong. There's no pushing him through it or coddling. He just doesn't. Anyway, somebody said, well, you need to go with smaller sets. No problem. We'll just go with 15 sets and be done around 5:15, will we? We need more very competent people. And Colin Kelly has been coming out for us, and Jay Harris was going to come out today, but Jay was a little under the weather, and Colin has the O'Brien Awards tonight with his buddy Bobby also. And, Mark is okay. I would like to go with Emerald Miss. Now, having said that, the footwear she had on today could easily have played a real role in her making a break. But she looked good. She was coming to me in the last turn, and then I heard her make a little break, and she was gone. So Emerald Miss has been very good, and I'll go with her again. Again, some of these horses I know can fly, but you don't really see it with some of the other guys. They don't put them in gear at the right time, or they put them in gear in different places, or they make breaks. Trust me when I tell you, Emerald Miss can fly, and I will go with her at some point and show you, but you're going to have to take my word for it for right now. Enjoying my life. Looks great. It doesn't matter who we put on her. She's just a very nice filly, very professional filly, and does everything perfect. Looked great today. Finished up behind, I believe, really Blue Chip today, but looked great doing it. Enduring Strength didn't go today. He was gelded the other day. He is now most of a horse, not of a stud, but a gelding. But jogged today and looked good on the track. You're not going to see this huge turnaround of attitude until that testosterone is out of the system. Might take up to 6 weeks in some cases. But Enduring Strength looked fine on the track jogging. Fox Valley Shazam made a very rare break today. She wears her shoes turned around backwards. Can't get a hold of the track to begin with. Nothing there to punch into. Not really that shocking that she made a break. I could see her leaning into her head check. You see the signs of frustration in their gait and in their body language, and that's what I saw from Fox Valley Shazam today. No big deal. It's not like she's ever going to race on a track that was that deep and taxing and slippery. So not a big deal that she made a little break, but looked good up until that point. Film Fanatic is now officially, I believe, Giddy Up Max. David Shea races under the moniker Giddy Up Stables. So Giddy Up Max is Film Fanatic, and he looked great today, did everything right. Tell you a horse that looked awesome again today, Forged in Fire. This was a horse that wears a lot of weight, wears a set of flip-flops. I was concerned that he would chew at himself today and that he would not be very good in this track. He couldn't have been stronger. An absolute bulldozer today. 1.5 miles, tugging on me, going under the 1.5 mile marker as much as he was at the start. Very, very strong. Surprisingly strong today. Forged in Fire was very good. French Twist, first training trip back. For him. Looked fine, did his work well. This is an Angus Hall colt. A little climby behind. I think that's just his gait. Danny and I will work with him over the next month. But he's been in 35, 36. So, excuse me. So no issues there with French Twist. Frontier Cruise looked good. He was a little tired today. Finished this a big, heavy colt on a very heavy track. There was going to be some problems. Just it was not going to work out well for him today, and he ended up very tired at the end of the 1.5 miles, but did his work well and ate his lunch. That's the most important thing. I go through the burn after a training trip, especially like a day today. I want to have a look at the horses. What are you doing after I just broke your heart a little bit? After I just pushed you to the edge? After you just trained as hard as you could train today physically? What do you look like now? You hungry? You want to eat your lunch? You want to sulk in the corner? These are the things we want to see, and it's important. When you go to the gym, if you don't break a sweat, why go? Why are you there? I shouldn't say that. I rarely break a sweat when I go to the gym, but I like the jacuzzi and the steam room. Steam room's good. I like the steam room. But our horses have to work hard, and I expect that they will. And Frontier Cruise worked as hard as he could today and dove into his lunch. That's what I want to see. Fusspot was not as good today. Rare. I'm going to go with her next week, this filly. I think a combination of the track, and she coughed a little bit after. Might have been a little bit sick. Not a big deal. Certainly going to give this filly a pass. This is a filly that I told you, I was quoted as saying she's 5 seconds faster than the rest of the bunch she was with the last 2 months. A little pass for Fusspot today. Globetrotting looked incredible today. Beat up on a very good set of trotters and looked incredibly happy and comfortable doing it. Very happy with Globetrotting. Gold Watch went good again today. This is a colt that missed a few days because of the cold weather. Had an abscess blow out of his foot, a big, nasty abscess blow out of his foot. And was good training today. Very happy with him. Harness AM was great. Broke her hobbles. Broke her hobbles today. So she made a break, I guess, after she broke her hobbles. But you've seen her the last 3 weeks. Just been incredible. Havana Unana trained good. Hometown Boys both trained very, very good today. Both came back tired, but both very hungry at lunchtime. Very important. Very important. What did Rocky say? I forget what Rocky said. He said it's not about how hard you hit. It's about what you do after you've been hit hard or something you knocked down. You know what I'm talking about. It's what the horses are going to do when they are faced with adversity. What next? You just got beat up. What are you doing now? You going to cry about it? Or are you going to get up and eat your lunch? And I didn't see any crybabies today in the barn. A lot of hard-working horses ready to go at it again. That is what I want to see. Both Havana Unana and Hometown Boys did that. I'll play it alone. Almost run away with Donnie today. Gonna have to change the gear in his mouth, but man, oh man, did he ever look good pacing. He was a little uncontrollable for a couple of seconds. Looked like Donnie might have got himself in a little trouble, but nothing that little snake cord won't fix for I'll play it alone for a couple of weeks. He looked really good. Inland Beach looked great. Again, not the footwear for this type of weather. Flip-flops, another filly that came in tired. Did her work, though. Had some flashes throughout the mile. Flashes of speed and talent. And then come back in and looked really, really good. Jailhouse Master did his work. Jailhouse Master struggles, but he loves his work. You know, perfect example. When I was a kid, I wanted to snowboard. Everybody wanted a snowboard when I was in high school, junior high, into junior high. I got a snowboard. It only took me a couple of minutes to figure out that I was not going to be very good at snowboarding. I was not going to be an Olympic snowboarding athlete, but I liked it. Jailhouse Master is a very hard worker, loves his work, and tries really hard. Now, I've been in 35 of them, and he's going to continue to advance. There's speed inside there, and I hope that we can find a way that we can get him away from himself. Just picking at himself and rough a couple of times. He'll make the odd break, but he wants to work. I got him over to the front today, and he started to get really tired. And Mario blew by me with around the last turn with Rose Run Valiant and made a break. And then I laughed at Mario when I was going by him. I ended up winning the training session with Jailhouse Master, just out of sheer determination and will. He's a very, very tough horse, and I really hope we can help him out. Inch by inch, get him away from himself, clear himself, and then he grows through some growth spurts and puts on some muscle. We could have a nice horse. We're going to have Swandre the Giant? No, we're not going to have that. But we might have a nice horse in Jailhouse Master. A horse that definitely is a nice horse is Johan. Johan, a little tricky to get to the track sometimes. He laid down a couple of times in the yard when we first broke him, but now he's much better getting out the door and onto the track. Now, when you get him to the track, zero faults. Makes no mistakes. Does everything right. Very methodical on the track. Very surgical in his attack and his approach to attacking. What I mean by that is some horses you move them over and they just want to get at it. You know, they want to work. Some horses you put them on the front, they want to fight with everything that comes to them. Some horses that are covered up just wait for the opportunity for you to move them to bolt. This guy does all that, but he listens. I came first over just before the quarter with him. Just sat out there, and he just dropped into neutral. Every time we exited a turn, you could see his ears prick, just itching for me to say, go ahead. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited. I came out of the fourth or fifth turn with him. I just gave him his head, and I chirped him. I'm telling you what, it was immediately like 0 to 60 fast. He just crossed over to the front in 2 steps and was gone. And Knockdown Dragout was coming to him around the last turn. She had a big head of steam, and they were trotting on the end of it. There wasn't any other horses around them when we went under the wire, and they looked very, very good. The one horse was in behind us. It'll come to me. Anyway, effusive. But Johan looked tremendous. This is a legit colt. The only thing that'll not turn him into a great horse if he's just not a great horse. If his talent level, if he becomes saturated at some point where he just can't go any faster, then that's where he ends. But I just don't see that happening. He's just got too much talent. He's too fast. He's too quick. He's too intelligent. He's got a lot going on from this colt. So Johan, extremely happy with him today. Just for me and you, another filly kind of lost in the shuffle because she's always in the deep end of our pool, but looked great again today. If you're not really familiar with her or you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at some of her videos and how good she's looked throughout the mile and a half today. Didn't get tired, still coming on the end of it, and Ricky going with her. Ricky said to me today, he says, just so you know, not a break today. I had a break today. I don't think anybody else went the entire day without having a break. Like, nobody Ricky went with made a break. The odds of that are immeasurable, of Ricky going with 8 horses and none of them making a break today. Those odds are, I told him, I said, I hope you're going to buy lottery tickets on the way home. The odds of Ricky McPhee going 8 for 8, no breaks, staggering. But he did, and the filly was tremendous just for me and you. Knockdown, drag out, as I said. I can't keep talking about her every week. This is, if not our best horse, then definitely one of our best horses. She's a freak. You know, we get talking to somebody said, oh, breeding always bubbles up and blah, blah, blah. You might be right, but White Tiger wasn't well bred. And, we were talking about Inland Beach and Miss Brampton Beast. Neither of them are tremendously well bred, both very talented. And my point being made was White Tiger was not a very well-bred horse at all. Lawmaker, decently bred. Cruising in Style, decently bred. Knockdown, drag out, not so well-bred. I tell you one thing, there's 75 of them in the barn that don't want any piece of her today, didn't want any piece of her today, and most weeks don't want any piece of her. This is a legit filly in my mind. A filly that does everything right and is now understanding her work. It is February 2nd, and she gets it. That's a scary proposition. The horses that are understanding their work now, this is what Lawmaker did. Lawmaker was never a super tremendously talented horse. He was effective. He was surgical in his approach to racing. He understood how important it was to get seated or to attack immediately, or at least when you're asked. He understood what his job was. Some horses go through their whole career without completely getting it, but I can guarantee you the vast majority of good horses, if you ask their trainers, were smart, intelligent animals. And both the Sebastian K's and Johan in Knockdown Dragout, scary smart. So Knockdown Dragout is a fantastic filly, very, very good. Libero Hanover trained great again today. It's just a nice colt that continues to fly under the radar. We just don't need a specific special driver to go with the horse, so the grooms end up going with him, which is great for them. It's fine for him too, because when we really turn him on and start him up, he's going to have that. He's a smart colt too. He can't not be smart. You know, for what the show he put on the first 2 days, trying to wreck everything, and then get better and better and better. And now he's just a kitty cat on the track. He just does everything right. Just drives like a Cadillac. Libero Hanover's a nice colt also. McPherson Thunder, we gelded him. Going to give him a few weeks off just to get over that, get his legs back underneath him. He went through a giant growth spurt, this colt. He's a big boy. And just going to give him some time. He's fast. He's been in like 233. Certainly not going to miss anything. So McPherson Thunder is going to have a little rest. Marzank Hanover. I was surprised today. I had Danny down to drive, so Danny was in charge of his barn. I said, whatever one you want to go with, that's fine. I said, the drone's not here. Nobody's going to see it anyway. You go with whatever one you want. You know, I had him down with one in the top barn, and instead he went with a different one. Hey, I'm going to go with this one instead. No problem. Danny gets carte blanche. So I had 3 horses from the bottom barn in one set. I had him down to go with I'll Play It Alone. He comes out in the track with Marzank Hanover. I said, is that filly okay? She okay? He said, yeah, she's okay. I said, how come you didn't want to go with the colt? He said, I'll go with this filly anytime. He said, this filly is a very, very nice filly. This is out of a sister to Mock It So by Mach 3. And Daryl, one of our clients, Daryl Newbigging, doesn't usually own babies, jumped in and bought a baby this year. And Danny is very enamored with Marzanne Hanover. It wasn't that she needed anybody to go with her for any special reason. It's that Danny wanted to go with her. He said she's a very nice filly, and she is a very nice filly. I just got by her at the wire today with Miss Brampton Beast, and he did a lot of the heavy lifting. I attacked a couple of times and then backed her up, and she's got a big engine in her and a big kick to her. I cut her loose coming out of the turn. I don't even know if Danny saw me coming, but I just jumped on him halfway down the lane, and the other filly was very, very good today. Marzanne Hanover's a really talented filly. She's no joke. She's a nice filly. Master Treaty. I hate saying it, but I can't believe I'm saying it. He's coming around. A little bit better again today. He trained better last week. He's got a long way to go to catch up to civilization, but look good. Look good. McNugget was a little flat today. I thought she might struggle on that deeper track. And old Ron. So just picture any old crotchety man that you knew, got a chip on his shoulder. That's Ron. Ron's about 306 years old, and he works for us. He owns some pieces of some horses. Ron's worked for me for quite a while. Very nice man. And Ron said, "How's McNugget today?" I said, Stevie said she was a little flat. That's what you get for putting Sleepy Stevie on her. He said, just as Steve walked through, "What did you say?" "You heard me, Sleepy Steve," he said. So on your died, Ron, give it to Steve about being sleepy, and it was going to be tough. McNugget's got a really light gait. It was really heavy track today. She came in winded, but again, I went to her stall after, eating her lunch and looking for more, mostly because she's a big slob. She was obese before, lost a lot of weight, but worked very, very hard today. Can't say I can fault any of the horses. I didn't see any horses crying in their stall and licking their wounds after. Saw a lot of hungry horses that were digging into their lunch. Very important. Miss Brampton Beast on the pacing side. I don't think you're going to find a better horse in the barn. Certainly not one on the track today. This filly got top marks. As I said, she just jumped on Marzanne Hanover at the wire. But I don't know if anybody wants a piece of this filly. Rightfully so. She looks like a good horse. Somebody said the other night, Sunshine Beaches. They've had one crop. Our best pacer last year was a Sunshine Beach. Not too many people can say they ever had a 2-year-old that paced the last quarter in 25 and 4, in a mile 54, 55, whatever it was. Sunshine's Finest was legit, by the way. And Sunshine Beach, I'll take however many you want. I told you we were going to end up with a lot of them this year. You look at the Sunshine Beaches we have. Miss Brampton Beast is no joke. Nice filly. Frontier Cruise, nice horse. Sunshine and Shade, very nice horse. I'm missing another one that I used with James today. It'll come to me. Anyway, we got some legit horses here that are by Sunshine Beach and Miss Brampton Beast. Only thing, and I say this a lot, but you have to understand, the only thing that will stop her from being a good horse is sheer ability. If she does not have the ability to be a good horse, she won't. I just don't see it. She is a big, giant freak right now, and she can fly. So Miss Brampton Beast, can't say enough about her. Just a very, very nice filly. Miss Mischief Maker, Danny went with her today, and I told him, I said, just move her over, let her trot, and keep her advancing. He said, I think she made a little break. He was trying to duck the point that she made a little break, which she never does. She made a break on Mario the first time he went with her because he tried to coddle her at the back. She's a brawler. She wants to get at it. Not aggressive, not a runaway, but she wants to be in the mix. Give her a target, and when you make the front with her, sit the bit in her mouth and let her trot because she wants to put them away. She doesn't take the foot off the accelerator when you put her in gear until you make her. Very smart, very strong, very fast filly. Was not her best day, I guess. I didn't get to see her go. I had one in there. Danny said she was good. She's much more than good. Probably one of our 3 best horses. And maybe I'll go there next week. I love going with this filly. Anyway, we're coming to the end of this part of the video. I'm going to come back in just a second with Muscle Chrome, who's been great. That was Miss Mischief Maker. Very happy with her. We'll be just back in a second with Muscle Chrome. So I'm back now, as I said, with Muscle Chrome. Muscle Chrome trained good today and has been training great. Quietly flying under the radar for the last little while. When we first broke her, it looked like her knees were going to bother her. She wasn't comfortable, a little cranky, made a few little shoeing adjustments, and bang, immediately nice filly. This filly's been doing a lot of work. Mario likes her. I like her. One of us two will likely go with her next week. Very happy with Muscle Chrome the last little while, and you should be also. Nancy Allison was okay today. James said she really struggled in the deep, snowy terrain. She's got flip-flops on. She hits the ground in a way where most of her power comes from the front end. There was no way she could get a hold of the track today. Followed around, did her work well, followed company very well. In that way, she learned a lot today, so great. But really struggled in that deep, deep track. Need Your Opinion went good again today. I let Colt, one of our grooms, go with that horse. He loves this filly, and he gets along actually really well with her. Well, she's not going to do anything wrong for anybody. She's a sweetheart, but he looked really, really good going with her today, and she's been doing everything we asked since day one. So very happy with Need Your Opinion. Olympic Hopeful was very good again today. Mario went with her, loved her, said, gee, she's got a beautiful gait. I've said this to you guys quietly. I think the best gait, the most beautiful gait in the entire barn, maybe Globetrotting, but I got hobbles on her now. Olympic Hopeful right up there together. Just a sweet, beautiful gait. Olympic Hopeful, just a very nice filly. Path of Totality, I worked her hard today, and she worked hard. She got a big splint right front biting her. In the turn, she'd get over on the head pull a little bit. You could see her pinching a little bit on it. As soon as we come out of the turn, gone. And she was very, very good training today. Best I've seen her. One of my partners on the filly, Kimberly, was there today and watched her go. She was impressed with her. I was very impressed with her. Olympic Hopeful was very legit today. Pine Creek did her work. Didn't make any breaks in the mix today. It's going to take some time with Pine Creek. It's going to take some time. We made some shoeing adjustments to get her over the first hurdle. It's almost like we got to make a few more to get her over the next one. But she wants to do it. And that's the most important thing. You know, the ones that want to do it, we can get them there. The ones that don't want to do it, like the Talking Peters and the Two-of-a-Kind Hanovers, well, she actually did want to do it. She just couldn't. Talking Peter had to go. If they can't do the work, they don't want to do the work, and they don't want to participate, we work very hard in the barn, and I expect the horses to. And if they don't want to and they refuse to, we can help them out. They can just go not do their work very well for someone else. Really, Blue Chip did want to do her work today. I told James, I said, he went with Knockdown Dragout, so he's pretty, you know, he can see the power in Knockdown Dragout, how good she is, and how talented she is. He couldn't stop talking about her. And then he went with Really Blue Chip, and I think he caught himself. You know, you don't want to come in off the track start. You know, I'm optimistic. I talked to you about the optimistic parts of the barn, and I'm very, very happy about what I see. But James wants to be a little more reserved, which is good for him. You know, he doesn't need to pump anybody's tires. He's just there to go with them. And he said, wow, this is a nice face. So who's this thing by? I said, Credit Winner. She's out of a sister to Crazed. Very, very nice horse. No, is that her? Yes, I think that is her. Or is that Rooney Blue Chip? I might have lied to James. Anyway, whatever. Not the first time. Anyway, Really Blue Chip's legit. Very, very nice horse. Very, very nice filly. And probably outside of Knockdown Dragout and Johan, for the ones that I saw or I went with, probably every bit as strong was Really Blue Chip. Some horses really just punch through it. Doesn't matter what type of track they're on, they're good. Really Blue Chip's one of those horses. Very, very nice filly. Rockin' Out Loud was good. James went with her first time today. I said, she can be a little lazy and cranky. You got to put her in gear and then keep her attention. And he wound her up and had her crossing over the front and let her drop into neutral. It's tough to get her back up in gear, especially on a track like that with flip-flops on also she wears. So she was good. Not as strong as I'd like, but again, sharp as a tack afterwards. Rooney Blue Chip made one little break on James, but I told him his head was too low to begin with. But when he went out to train him, I said, you got to put him in gear, sit the bit in his mouth because he'll make mistakes, but he'll try to catch himself. Smart colt. Made a little break on James today, but come up trotting and look great after that. This colt's a powerhouse. Powerhouse. Very happy with Rooney Blue Chip. One of the horses I would say, if you don't know what Rooney Blue Chip is, who he is, or where he's the brother, out of the sister to Crazed. That's who it is. If you haven't watched him, go back and watch him and keep an eye on him from here on in. You're going to see what I'm talking about. Rooney Blue Chip is a strong colt. Rose Run Valiant was good again today. We couldn't cryo his splint 2 weeks ago because there was a lot of scurf on there, a lot of irritation on the skin, so they can't cryo it. We'll cryo it this week, though. Not a big deal. He's been very, very good, and Mario really likes this colt. Rose Run Versatile. Talk about a horse that's getting exceptionally good. First 2 times I trained her, she was a little tender in the corners, which a lot of horses her size, she's a big filly, a lot of horses do. Put the hobbles on her, she trained awesome. Put them on her again, she trained awesome. So Phil Cool, who's been with us a long time, was feeling a little bit ill, just needed some time off, and asked for about 6 weeks, which, of course, go ahead. And the gentleman that has filled in for him and is now working for us, an experienced groom, but didn't realize the filly wore trotting hobbles. So while I'm up on the track, here comes James up on the track with my filly, Rose Run Versatile, no hobbles on. I wasn't angry. I was a little frustrated. I'm like, that filly wears hobbles. And he goes, well, nobody said anything to Greg. And I'm like, you're right. My fault. Trained great. No hobbles on, trained great. Not that shocking. Looked fantastic. Very happy with her. James said, what's your problem with this filly with hobbles? This thing doesn't need hobbles. And I said, well, she did. I said, she's about a month behind everybody. We were trying to help her catch up. And he goes, you don't have to help her catch up. She was fantastic today. All she did was trot. She's a big, strong filly. He said, I like this filly. You said this a muscle massive? I said, yeah. Obviously, James was with us at the same burn in Baycairn when we had Lawmaker, and then trained White Tiger quite a few times last year for us. And then now with this one, he goes, I really like her. Pretty hard not to. You'll see what I'm talking about soon enough with her. Sebastian Ray trained great today again. Colt has always looked good. Kind of in the shadow of the other 2 Sebastian K's right now in Knockdown Dragout and Johan, but will catch up. Very well-bred colt, full brother to the horse that went in 52 in Tricks and Stones, and half-brother, I'm sorry, and looked great when I went with him. I only went with him one time. He looked great, and I know he went great again today. Sebastian Yu. So here's a scoop on Sebastian Yu. I love this colt. Got his ears on his neck a little bit. I think he needs to mature. We're going to castrate him, but not for a bad reason, simply because everybody says, oh, you cut them, they stop growing. It's quite the opposite. When you cut them, they start to blossom out a little bit more, and this colt, I like him. I like his work ethic. I like what he does, but his ears are on his neck sometimes, so he's a little cranky on the track. Is that because he's hurting a little bit? Maybe a bit immature? Maybe. We're going to help him out with that, though. So we're going to castrate him, give him 3 weeks off, much like we did McPherson Thunder. And I think you'll see quite a difference in Sebastian Yu moving forward. Our 4th Sebastian, and I think you'll be very impressed with him. I suspect he'll be a very nice colt around April 15th. You can hold me to that. Sometimes things happen. I won't talk about anything except how he trained today. Sometimes things happen, look good. He's not running down. Not that he would have any reason to run down. Darn it. He didn't run down. He's not running down. So that means he's getting stronger behind. Trotting good, looking good. Just a nice horse to be around, too. Just a big teddy bear. Here's a horse that we're not going to worry about. Just a very, very nice horse to train, to be around. I want to get behind him and go with him. I'm going to try and train him on Wednesday myself. So we'll see how sometimes things happen looks. Spend that money. Look good today, but Kirby said she was making breaks in the turns and running in, wanted me to go with her. I'm going to go with her on Wednesday. Again, Steve went with her today and said she didn't run, but she wasn't comfortable, and the track was not conducive to horses without very good confidence in their gait. And this filly, I'm going to go with her on Wednesday also. Spirit of Dio, here's a horse on the move. This is a horse that has been tremendous the last 2 weeks. Just a tiny, tiny shoeing change and equipment change. And Chris Monroe Sr., that owns a piece of her, was very, very happy and has been very happy with her and should be. This filly looked awesome today training. Looked awesome last week. Just a very, very nice filly, and I think she's going to show up in the very near future on the video for you guys also. Sunshine and Shade made a little break today, but his hobbles need to come in. His head needs to go up, much like I did with Miss Brampton Beast and Watch Av, both who trained great today. Sunshine and Shade just needs his bolts tightened up, so to speak. No concerns. Very, very fast colt. Susie K made a few breaks. I knew she was gonna. Susie hits the ground way too light for her to be going with in a deep track. There's no shot she was going to get through today. Only made one break, I think, and trotted okay after. But this is not her type of track, and I knew that going in. But next week's a new week. We'll see how she looks next week. Who else we got talking? Peter. He's leaving too. Kind Hanover. She's leaving. They didn't train today. Just jogged. Time Old Dazzle. Trafalgar trained awesome today. Gislaine went with Trafalgar. Said, she's pretty good. I said, she's had the harness on about 5 weeks. Oh, she's very good then. So, Trafalgar looked very, very good training. This is the sister to Buckingham. Buckingham also looked good training today. Time Old Dazzle was a little winded after, but ate her lunch, and I said to Mario, she's going to train hard the next 2 weeks. This filly, a little soft today, should not be soft today for no particular reason. So that means she's not trained hard enough right now. There's no reason, there's no level you need to be at, but she should not be tired today. She hits the ground, beautifully gated filly. Maybe coming off the virus a little bit, but definitely needs to be trained harder next week. I'll go with her on Wednesday. Timo Kazam looks good every week. Somebody asked me how he went. I said, well, I didn't get any fantastic reports or any bad reports. Gisselin said, yeah, he good. So, he good. Anyway, not going to have any issues with Timo Kazam. He gets better every day. And I told you he would. When we start getting that fat off him, I told you he was going to start to look good, and he does. So everybody's happy with Timo Kazam. Yours, if you want it, looked fantastic today. And Disco, Mark Isabel, went with him. Just a very, very nice colt. This is one of our nicest Ohio breds. This guy, Roser and Valiant, spend that money. There's one more. Bend Over looked good today. The Mission Colt looked pretty good today. I'm missing one. Very important outside of globetrotting. I'm missing a colt that I thought looked great today. Anyway, yours, if you want it, looked fantastic. Utopian looked good also. Just a nice colt. I showed you guys on that one-on-one video. I was by myself. That colt, you can see how green he was, but how fast he was. He come the fastest last half of anybody this year, which isn't a big deal. It's not a speed race right now, but the fact that he can do it and do it with such ease, pretty impressive. Watch Av, maybe one of the biggest movers of the week. This colt beat up on some very, very good. You're going to see next week a different horse. The horse that I trained today is not the horse that has been training before. This horse, little equipment change, put a head pull and Murphy blind on the inside of him because he has struggled in the turns sometimes. Totally different horse, completely turned the corner. Whatever hurdles were in front of them, he smashed right through them. This colt starting to look like a very, very nice horse. Wiggle Delight was the other one right beside me finishing up. And Mario is quite confident this filly's going to be legit filly. Again, it doesn't matter what we say. It's what everybody else's horses are like. I suspect Wiggle Delight's going to be a very nice filly. No reason not to. And Mario concurs. He loves this filly. Willpower Fashion finished second or third today. Looked good. He had every reason not to look good. He had a little track rash in his right hind heel. You know, a little bit of swelling where he'd hit himself training the other day. Not to mention he had flip-flops on. And not Willpower Fashion's day, but the square skated trotter we have, he's like a pacer. He's not going to run. And if he does, it's like a split second. And he was very good today, but was very tired today. A good mile for Willpower Fashion. Zeb Sunshine, error-free today. As I said was coming up, we were going to button down on Zeb Sunshine, clean him up, change his equipment, his shoeing, make sure we had him right. That's exactly what we did. He was very good today. James was very happy with him. There it is. Look at that. Looks like 44 minutes for the babies. Very good. Anyway, that's everything for today. Hopefully I articulated well enough who was tremendous today, who was good. And really the ones that were bad, they weren't bad. They were just tired today. There's nothing wrong with that. As I said, most important thing about seeing them tired on a day like today, what do you do next? What do they look like at lunchtime? What do they look like Monday when they jog? These are the things we want to see. And by all accounts, everybody took it like a champ. Nobody was licking their wounds and crying me a river in the corner. They were all looking for lunch and looking to get back at it. And that's what we want to see. Stable full of fighters. So that's it. That's the stable this week. Tune in to the webcast. Please tune into the webcast. Very important if you have any sort of vested interest in any of the babies and have any questions, even if it's not about the babies. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. You can pick up the phone and call me. But if you want it answered in real time and you want to have a discussion with your partners, webcast the place to be. A very good way to communicate. Something that we're going to utilize a little bit more, especially this time of year with staking coming up. I talked to you about the staking also. Make sure you get those checks out if you don't mind, please. We are going to have a lot of stake payments this year just because we have more horses. So, right around 90 grand for this year in Canadian. 30 American, 48 Canadian. A lot of money to put out. And I really appreciate everybody's outpouring so far. And every bit is important. If you don't think you can get it out right away, let me know so I can make adjustments on my end. Anyway, hopefully the weather breaks. It's supposed to break in the worst directions. Rain Sunday and Monday. Nasty, nasty turn of weather. Then it's supposed to get cold again. Just about the worst weather you can have this time of year. Hopefully we can get that drone in next week. It does look like Wednesday it's starting to cool down again, -5, -6 into the weekend. So we should be able to have a good drone day on that Saturday. What we do after that, we'll talk about maybe on the webcast also, or we'll talk about next week. Do we come right back with another drone session with you? Or do you guys have one when I'm not here? Or do we wait till I get back? I haven't made my mind up yet. So, that's everything. That's all of it. That's the babies, the stables, how the burn went today, talking about the webcast. It's all done. All done and done for you, and all done before 4 o'clock on Saturday. New record. Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you have a great week. I will talk to you hopefully Monday night, but definitely next week for sure. Take care.